You bang on time as well for the Inside Right Now, where truth has a new address. And today we are honored to be holding court with Samson Cherargei, who is a senator of Nandi. Also, we do have the Member of Parliament of Kitui Central. This is Honorable Dr. Makali Mulu. We shall be joined momentarily by Senator Okongo Mogini, the Senator of Nyamira, eagerly waiting as well to be joined by Peter Kaluma. But we continue pace with the conversation. Also remember to chime in on our socials at TV47 Digital on X and other social platforms as well. And we shall be beaming some of your comments moving forward. A lot has been happening in the country. Resumption of Parliament yesterday, back to a full in-tray, looking at the bills that also they shall be looking at, very, very critical bills as well. We have the issue of the e-procurement, where we've had also from the Treasury, they're not rowing back as far as moving on is concerned with the EGP. So the Council of Governors, they have just to toe the line. But even them, they're saying they're not flinching, because what the National Treasury is doing is defiance of what the court have ordered, that they should be, of course, complementary of the electronic and the manual system, and where we've had also the Council of Governors chair decrying the fact that services have stalled at the county level. So what does it portend moving forward as well? Bicameral relations bill is a key one as well. We've seen the animosity that has been there between the National Assembly and also the Senate, and this is meant to actually mend this particular frosty relationship that has been there. We shall be looking at that, and of course the person who has been convening this particular bill, he's here as well, and he shall be shedding light on that as well. Remember, we have the by-elections coming up, and looking at the TIFA polls today that has just given the indication that the popularity of the broad-based government is sleeping. Many of you Kenyans are saying 64% are opposed to the broad-based government arrangement. 29 are in support of it. We have 7 they have no opinion. And also looking at the parties, also the popularity of UDA is standing at 16%, having fallen from 32%. ODM as well at 13%, and DStv at 9%. So going by these indicators and having the by-elections which are coming up, what does it really portend? Also, we shall be looking at party politics and the upcoming special ends, NDC of a Jubilee Party, also ODM at 20. We shall be talking about it tonight. So let me just extend a hearty welcome to our panelist, Samson Cherargei and Dr. Makali Mulu. Good to see you, Dr. Makali Mulu.
Yeah, good to see you, Debarl.
Yes, and so we know also that Kalonzo has been very categorical, if you've been following the news, that he will not be appearing for the SNDC on Friday. Not really on Friday, actually for the ODM. That is ODM. And I know also he was invited also for the NCDC. I don't know if for the Jubilee Party, because Matiang'i, Dr. Matiang'i has been part of the United Opposition.
Anyway, Debarl, you know, Honorable Kalonzo is our leader, the leader of the Wiper Patriotic Front. And by the way, we are going to have our own NDC on 20th October. So what has been happening in the past is that anytime we're having these meetings, more so on the side of the United Opposition, our party has been attending just to show solidarity with the rest of the team. So I'm not privy to why he's saying he might not be attending one, because he has been attending all. But that, to me, is something might have to fall and find out what has happened. But all said and done, Debarl, I think we've agreed that any of the coalition partners as a national event for their party, then we would be attending. And you've seen us attend Mother Karua's meeting. You've seen us attend one of our Marwa's meeting. But you know, the challenge with the Jubilee, we're having 2 functions of Jubilee. You know, Jubilee is divided. So maybe that's the reason, because you don't know which Jubilee to deal with. Even as Matiang'i says he's going to join the Jubilee, you know, there's a wing of Uhuru Kenyatta and there's a wing of Sabina Chege. You know, Sabina Chege is also a Jubilee party leader. So maybe that division is what is now making our party leader not really feel comfortable to go for any of the function. But I want to be just open that I've not spoken to him. Really, I'm not privy to why he's not going to attend any of them. But generally, NDCs are basically for the party. It's actually called the National Delegates Conference for the party. And even when he attends just as a visitor. He doesn't attend as a member of the NDC. So you only go as a friendly party leader to the other one, which is hosting it. And from where I sit, I don't see anything wrong with him attending or not attending.
But he's been also very categorical on ODM 20, the TI. He was extended, an invite was extended to him. But you know very well. And he said, as a founding member of ODM, and he's been on record saying, no, I will not go because of the position of where Raila Odinga is with the current administration. Kalonzo
has never been a founding member of ODM. It's a Ruto was a founding member. Kalonzo has always been having the leader of Wiper Democratic Movement, which is now Wiper Patriotic Front. So I think really he has these reasons because, we used to work very close with ODM. And the truth of the matter is now ODM has gone to the other side. So long as ODM is associating with the Kenya Kwanza government, and we have stated clearly that we are not part of that government, I think it really logically it follows that he has no business attending ODM meetings, because we are anticipating a situation where President Ruto might be attending. You remember he said he's one of the founder members, so he might be attending. So I don't know. I don't even you agree with me. You don't want my party leader to be sitting on the same table where you have Raila, you have Ruto, and you have Kalonzo.
Yeah,
it might send the wrong signals out there, and we have said very clearly that he's not joining this government. He's ready to take over the government 2027.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, let me hear from Honorable Cherogei on the issue of the TIFA poll. I don't know your reaction, if you may, and tell us, the 64% of Kenyans who are opposing the broad-based government arrangement. UDA popularity now slipping down to 16%, but still is, the leading party in popularity. But that also is not a shining factor anymore.
Thank you, Debarl. It's always a pleasure being here.
And you look smart, by the way.
Oh, thank you. I didn't know I looked that smart.
Yeah.
Thank you.
The orange.
But you can see I'm audience.
The orange color is speaking loudly.
Yes. Because we are in broad-based. I want to greet your viewers and good evening. It's always an honor to be here. And to pick it from where I am shocked by comments made by Dr. Makali, by saying that William Ruto, Kalonzo Musyoka, and Raila Odinga cannot sit in one table. I thought all of us are Kenyans. I didn't know there is a prescription. You must sit
party meeting.
In a party meeting, which is okay. That's the essence of democracy. Secondly, before I come to your question on TIFA polls, is to congratulate the president. He has just delivered on the United Nations General Assembly, and you have seen he has made very serious points. One on the issue of Africa getting permanent seats, permanent and non-permanent in United Security Council.
Yes.
Also the fair structural and adjustment to issues of loans and financial institutions in Africa, and the Haiti mission, and of course the stability of the world, and of course the two-state solution for Israel and Palestine. So I think as Africa, we are proud that he has made a passionate appeal that United Nations cannot be united without 54 voice of all African nations, because we are 54 nations, we must also sit. And I think as I exit is that United Nations was born out of war, out of misery. I think we now need to transit to come with a United Nations that is born with the future, with technology, with acceptance of a global village. To the TIFA,
and I think also it's alluding you to mention that President Ruto has been recognized by the UN Habitat at United General Assembly as a global champion of adequate housing.
Yes, and also
citing Kenya's leadership in tackling the housing crisis.
And I'm telling you, he's winning home and away. And our opponents will be surprised in 2027, but that's a story for another day. And you saw even, he has also mentioned something about climate change. He has been also a champion, although President Trump in his speech called climate change and hoax.
A con job.
Yeah, it is a fake, something. So when one of the biggest superpowers call climate change issues a hoax, it makes us very worried. But I hope that's a conversation we can have in future. And we, of course, congratulate the president for that award. And that is what makes Kenya who we are. We are very resilient and unique. On the issue of TIFA polls, I'm not surprised that UDA is the most popular party. Most popular, according to TIFA. And you know, this is a sample of 2,000 plus. Because I was asking somebody when it came out, what was the sampling? They say 2,000 plus individuals that are speakers across the country. And the most popular party at the moment is United Democratic Alliance, closely followed by ODM, although I don't know whether my colleague Senator is still in ODM or he has gone to OPIA. You know, what shocks us is Matiang'i is a party leader of OPIA, but he wants to inherit Jubilee, which is very interesting. And of course, number 3 was, I think it was UDA, ODM, and DCP.
And DCP.
And therefore, it shows you the belief and the faith. You know, the fact that UDA is popular shows that people have faith in the government of today because it's the ruling party.
But what about the slippage? The slippage of
that is
32% to 16%.
You know,
it's important to mention that as well.
You know, Debarl, for some of us, we are privileged to have been in politics for some time, the 3 of us. There is a time to be popular and a time to be unpopular. As sure politicians will only be popular towards an election. If you want to be popular throughout in your career as a politician, then you are in the wrong profession. So what is happening with the changes, the reason that unpopularity slightly came is because the government was implementing policies that many people did not agree with, like housing taxes, the issue of share, those changes, university funding model, you know, with shifting, with the change, no one likes change, by the way. So that could have attributed to that, but the fact that we are still the best, even the united opposition could not even come to number 3. They were, I didn't see Wiper Patriotic Front anywhere. In fact, I'm told they don't appear. So in fact, the Kalonzo should be worried that a newcomer of DCP is number 3, and Wiper has been there for almost 20 years. They are doing badly. ODM is better, is a party that has been around. So the point I'm trying to make is that we agree with the outcome, and I'm happy by the even in the re-election of the president, we have seen significant performance in terms of those TIFA polls. Of course, we have an history in 2007 when you and me, at least we are still young at that time, is that opinion polls did not count. In 2007, Kalonzo Musyoka was leading in the opinion polls. But when the votes were done, it was Kibaki versus Raila. So although we should take those research or the opinion polls with a pinch of salt, but I think it is important for the country, and as in UDA, we have even finally, if you look at our by-elections that we did across the country, from senatorial by-elections to ward by-elections to constituency, you saw our by-elections were very peaceful, were very transparent. We were using in those nomination electronic voting, which shows the trust that Kenyans have in the favor of our party. Yeah.
Right. So Wiper Party just also rebranded recently, yes, to Wiper Patriotic Front.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is it Wiper Patriotic Front?
So Wiper Patriotic Front moving forward. But we've not officially done it? Have you officially done it?
No, we've already done it. We go to the certificate from the Registrar of Political Parties.
Yes,
but you know what
no, in terms of just the razzmatazz and you know,
no, that
party,
we'll be doing that during the issue of rebranding. Will come out during the National Delegates Conference. Okay. But I get surprised when I listen to although Chelaga is a lawyer anyway, I understand. You know, statistics, more likely he can't appreciate statistics. But what is happening is, if you have a drop from 32% to 16%, that is a negative. You are going down. So it means next time there will be 0%. He needs to be more worried than us.
But Wiper is nowhere.
But I'm sure they only mentioned the first 3 parties, and I'm sure if we had just below there, you would more likely
Wiper Party is somewhere.
From there. But all said and done.
I like his optimism.
I think the reason why I respect statistics and opinion polling is because if you do a proper scientific opinion polling, it gives you a very clear image of what is happening out there. Because it is Kenyans who are saying, matters political parties, where are we today? And they will say, if given a chance, I'll align myself with this party, I'll align myself with this party. And it just shows you that the first 3 parties, actually the first 2, because DCP has never been there as a new party. But it shows you the first two parties, what has happened is now, a lot of Kenyans who would associate themselves with these two parties are shifting their alliance to other parties. The other thing what it says is, normally when you are conducting a survey, out of the sample, there's what we call proportionate sharing of the sample. So that depending on the population of each of the, because in Kenya we have the big five in terms of blocks. So even as you allocate the sample, you do it proportionately. So that you find, I'm imagining in that sample, there must have been many more people from central Kenya. There must have been many more people from Rift Valley because of the share they take from the population. Because if you take the Kenyan population, I'm talking as an expert in that area. So that's why I'm telling you, might not be able to appreciate it. So you realize that because our politics are regional based, you find like if you pick 10 people from central Kenya and you pick 5 from southeastern Kenya, where Wiper is strong, automatically that proportion is sharing. It's likely also to affect the final results. But normally that's the way you do it, even to be fair anyway. It's the way you do it because it should be a reflection of the total population in Kenya. So I have no problem with the figures, but I would be more concerned with, because a long time we do the surveys where the Wiper Patriotic Front ranges around 10%. And I'm sure even if you look at this TIFA, we are around that 10% because that's normally the share of our population. But for them, who have a higher share and they're coming down, they need to be more.
They need to be, they need to go back to the drawing board and find out. This 16% is a huge margin.
But you know,
it's a huge margin.
Wiper Democratic Front is Wiper Democratic Front.
Patriotic.
Patriotic Front.
Yes, Patriotic Front.
Is a regional party.
No, it is.
So that is why they don't appear nationally.
But we have,
which I appreciate. He has just answered the question by saying we are regional.
No.
And I want to know, by the way, that is why I agree with him. The TIFA should tell us how they did sampling, because he's alluding that more sampling was picked in the regions where President William Ruto and Raila Odinga. If you look at Kisii, for example, where Senator comes from, the population there is quite high. So we would have expected maybe a political party like UPIA, for example, which is common in that region, to have a higher percentage in terms of the outcome finally. So he has confirmed that these are regional parties. Even if you look at party officials,
Debarl, we have 3 MPs from Taita as a party, 3 MPs from Taita. How can he call us a regional party?
It's because you look at party officials.
We have an MP from Kisii. You can attest to that.
That was Ben Momanyi's former.
We have a sitting MP now from Kisii.
Who is the name?
Innocent Obed. You know, he doesn't even know
but the officials, I look at the officials, those Bahati, because of Bangol nominations in other political parties. So if you look at party officials of Wiper, they come from one region.
No, who are the party officials?
From the party leader.
Do your research, man.
The only person who is different here is the SG Shakila.
Yeah, Shakila
the rest
is
come
SG,
from one the rest.
All right, let's hear from Okongo Omogede and hear also the party politics in Kisii and Nyamira as well, just to update us, because UPA is a new frontier there and everyone is associating it with Dr. Fred Matiang'i, but they're saying also UPA is a regional party. It's not as, as national as the Jubilee Party, of which we know that Dr. Matiang'i on Friday will be unveiled maybe as a presidential hopeful under the Jubilee Party. I don't know, what is your sentiment? Will you be in attendance for that particular special NDC?
Thank you, Debarl. First, I'm happy you haven't recognized me as being as smartly dressed as Cherage.
That's being in government.
I never see him with a ring, so he must look attractive.
Were you at the Senate?
He's still in the market.
Were you yourself at the Senate, because they're coming straight from Parliament?
Yeah. No, actually, me, I've just come from Nyamira.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what we were saying.
So you're right, yeah.
I was in Nyamira myself.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you need to update us and tell us about what is happening in Nyamira, especially with the candidates in Nyamira for the Nyasiongo, Borabu. We have Nyamaya in West Mugirango and Kerenyo. You've not produced any candidate for ODM. ODM is struggling to get a candidate in Nyamira County. And the days are just ticking off the calendar to the by-election.
Yeah, if you can give me a minute just to first appreciate and applaud our athletes who have just come from Tokyo.
Wow, wow.
I never imagined that in a world championship, I'll see Kenya sweeping medals from 800 all through to marathon. So those golden ladies, the ones who brought us gold in 800, 1500, 3000 steeplechase, 5000, 10,000, marathon.
Breaking a 42-year-old record.
I mean,
yes,
honestly,
not a
I've never felt proud like a Kenyan. You know, just conquering the world, winning gold from our ladies, that was awesome. I really want to say congratulations. I don't know whether any of the ladies is watching this show. We are really proud of them. They did the country proud. And even Wanyonyi, you know, I think watching that race, he was pushed. You know, he was really pushed to the wire. You know, I almost at one point thought, oh, we are losing this goal, but he delivered. I think we performed well. And we really need to thank our athletes. And last time we actually debated this matter in Parliament, we called out the government and said 3 million is not good appreciation for our athletes. Someone was telling me in some countries like Singapore, they will go home with close to 100 million. Because even Berlin, yeah. So I think we need to do better as a government and appreciate our sportsmen and women in a more better way, you know, like what Museveni does in Uganda. You get a new 4x4 vehicle, you get a house, government house. That's what we need to do. And I hope the men will also put up their socks. You know, we only got 1 gold from our male athletes. The people who did proud to us Kenyans were the women athletes. But I just wanted to spend a minute to...
Could it be the boy child problem as well?
Chirage should tell us.
But maybe you could also you know, try and conflate that with the Sports Amendment Bill 2024. I don't know. That can answer a lot of his problems.
We need to do something. Yes. We should make the kind of incentive we give our athletes legislated. We need to put it in some law. So that we budget and put aside that money. You know, a lot of effort is put in before you win a gold. Indeed. You don't just wake up, go to the World Championship and come back with gold. So we need to appreciate our athletes in a better way. But I just wanted to spend a minute to acknowledge those athletes, and if they are watching, to know that from Gusiland, we are proud of them. That's considerate of you. Yeah, we are proud of them. Yes. Now, you know, I'm shocked. Chirage is in a party that commands, imagine how you do percentages. Out of 100, UDA is commanding 16% following in the country. And Chirage is still here saying he's very proud of UDA. He should be having sleepless nights. You can imagine. Leading. They are ahead of the pack. It doesn't matter, you know. To win a presidency, to win presidency, you need 50+1. So you are doing 16%. That is, I think, if Makani can give us statistics, they are leading maybe in Nandi and Marakweta, 16%. So I thought you would spend 5 minutes to mourn and tell us why they are losing popularity. You know, from 36 down to 16. Yeah, you know. So if this is how UDA behaves, I think they are going to go the Malawi way. It will be one time if you are sitting here as a serious, this is a very serious technocrat of UDA, and they're still saying, you know, 16% we are doing very well. I think they must go back and reflect. It means that Kenyans are losing trust and faith in UDA. You know, if you are a government that is performing, you are having 36% approval from Kenyans. If you have performed well, if you have brought policies that resonate with Kenyans, would be seeing something like 40-something%. So at least popularity that is growing. But what we are seeing is dwindling popularity for UDA. So they should be worried. And I don't know where he gets this idea that Matiang'i is a leader of UPA. I don't know whether he has gotten any official document from the political parties. To the best of my knowledge, I've never known Matiang'i as a leader of UPA. UPA is a party that is led by the governor of Nyamira, Honorable Nyaribo. He's the party leader. So that is his party, and he should acknowledge that.
He has not been approached to associate himself with UPA?
With I mean, you live in Kenya, you have read the papers. I think the party that is trying to quote him is Jubilee.
Yes.
Jubilee party.
Yes.
So if there is any comment about his association with any political party, it should be Jubilee party, but not UPA. Maybe UPA may want
yeah,
to
but
be...
pundits have it that Jubilee might be a hard sell in the Kisii region.
Might be?
A hard sell.
I don't think so. You know, how I wish Debarl that we can move away from this culture. You know, Mo used to tell us that multipartyism will entrench negative ethnicity. He used to say, if you accept multipartyism, Kenya will become very tribal. We need to move away. You know, the way politics is done in mature liberal democracies, you don't own a political party. A party looks for a popular candidate, and that candidate becomes the flag bearer of that party in a presidential contest. You follow what happens in the UK. Nobody owns the Labour Party, you know. They just pick a leader they think will be the best suited to push the agenda of that party forward. The Conservatives, they do the same thing. You go to the US, nobody owns the Republican Party, nobody owns the Democratic Party. Do you know that we fund political parties in this country using taxpayers' money? So we should not have this notion that a party is owned by an individual. A party should be a property that belongs to the members of that party. And I like what I'm seeing in Jubilee. If Jubilee can approach Dr. Matiang'i and tell him, we think if we nap you can be one of our best sell as a presidential candidate, that's a good thing. It means that our democracy is maturing. I expect also UDA, if they realize that Dr. Ruto is very unpopular, they tell him, let's hand this ticket to somebody else. you know. And this has happened. You know, Lyndon Johnson did badly when he took the Americans to war with Vietnam. And he was so unpopular. By the time they were going to an election, he just told the party that I think it's in the best interest of the party that I don't seek a re-election. He did his one term and went home. So that's how parties, I think, should be built. That is the only way this country will do away with these ethnic parties. And we create national parties that have ideals that you can identify with as a Kenyan. Everybody knows, if you go to Australia currently, the party in power is the Labour Party. And the workers know that when you have a Labour Party, they will come up with the legislations, with the policies that are friendly to workers. You get it? You know that if the Conservatives are in power, issues of migration will be tightened. They don't like people migrating to Australia. That's how it should be, but not telling us that, UPA is a Kisii party. That does not even...
well, but there have been sentiments that maybe also UPA should have a coalition with the Jubilee party.
In fact,
so coalition is a way to go.
If you ask me, I don't like this idea of coalitions. You know, Makari will tell you that when we went to the last elections, the coalition that was against, is it called Kenya Kwisha or Kenya Kwanza?
Which one?
Kenya Kwisha, that one. We had more members. We had more members in the Senate elected, more members in National Assembly, but they used an orthodox means to buy the members, and they shifted the alliance from our coalition to their coalition. But if that was a single party, I'm sure we would today be standing as a strong opposition in the Senate and in Parliament. But we never accept, we never accept in this country that it is not unconstitutional. In fact, it is normal to win a presidential election but fail to control the Senate and National Assembly. The moment somebody is declared a president, the first thing he says, how can I be a president who does not control Parliament? Democracies, if you follow history, Debarl, you'll find cases where Obama at some point was a president, but he was not having majority in the Senate. That's why all the presidents, judges of Supreme Court he nominated were rejected because he didn't have majority in the Senate. But he never moved to buy Republicans. He said that is the decision that Americans have made. I think you need to apologize to Kenyans, you UDA people, for killing democracy by buying away members of opposition. Because that way, you weaken democracy. You go against the spirit of Article 4, which says that Kenya as a republic shall be a multi-party democratic state. Win as a president. If you have the majority, so be it. If you don't, accept it and move on. Thirdly, I don't know who has recognized the root, or whether there was something that was scientific or a statement was made, or it was a by the way statement. But if I was in the UN, there are serious issues I would have raised against a country called Kenya. You saw the number of youths that were killed, Debarl. And up to this day, and Cherargei is a lawyer, you know, we don't have even a single person who has been taken to court, charged, and convicted for the atrocities that were committed against young Kenyans who simply stepped out to picket, demonstrate, and raise some serious issues on our governance against the state. Nobody, as we speak today, has been taken to court, charged with any offense of murder, okay, as we speak today. And that's something that the UN should have called wrote out on. Because, Debarl, we can't have a culture where the state kills people. Then, to the shock of many of us who are lawyers, it wakes up one day and say, we have set up a team to discuss compensation. You are acknowledging that you have killed, but the only recourse is that we will pay you. We killed you, but we will pay you. That is something that the UN really should have mentioned, because when a country does that, it means we are slipping from the known tenets of rule of law. We are becoming a banana republic. None of us here wants to see our children being killed by the state simply because they have stepped out to protest against some unpopular policies by the government.
We shall come back to that. But I wanted just to also, as we're talking about coalitions, because we have also from this particular poll survey, they're saying, most Kenyans saying that, you know, when we have the broad-based government, which is becoming very unpopular at 64%, which they are opposed to, they're saying it undermines democracy and the role of opposition.
Yeah, it's obvious.
No,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, that's obvious.
You know the Elections Act, but allow me just with your indulgence to join my colleague. I think the only thing I agree with him, which he has said, is to congratulate athletes. So I want to join him in congratulating athletes, and I'm proud because majority of those people who competed in Tokyo, I represent them in parliament. And I want to thank him because on many occasions, when I brought issues of athletes and sports, Senator Okongo Mugena has been very supportive. I agree 3 million per call, 2 million for silver and 1 million for bronze is unfair. We need to increase even up to 5 million. So I'm proud that we got 11 gold medals. We are number 2 after United States of America. In fact, the rest of the countries across the world should give Kenya visa free, all Kenyans. Because if we are number 2 in the entire world, our national anthem was sung 6 times in a foreign country, which made us proud. And I think that is what united. Even it comes after CHAN football, which means young people will get opportunity to compete. But what somebody who struck me was the uncle called Faith Cherotich, who defeated Yavi. Yavi is a Kenyan, but of course she plies her trade in Bahrain, where she's eating with a big spoon or a golden spoon there. Because I'm told they give you a coach, they give you training and everything that you need, and even the reward is quite big, including even having recognition that some of us do not have. And it is sad, Debarl, when you are working in, you are covering that even Paralympics have not been given the necessary support to go for competition. So you saw starlets, they won, but they were stranded. So I hope these are some of the things as Parliament we can sit and agree. Secondly, is on the issue of coalition. I think senior council is becoming clever smart. By half, because he's saying coalitions are not important, yet it is in law. The Elections Act is very clear that there is post-coalition agreement and pre-coalition agreement. If they are partners after the election, they realize that they could not work with Azimio and they wanted to work with Kenya Kwanza, then so be it. And that is why we had to get numbers in the National Assembly and the Senate. So it is within the law. There is nothing that was being undermined. Coalition agreements will always be there. You remember when Kalonzo Musyoka and Raila were running, they went into a coalition agreement. The Wiper did not break their party and say, let us break and join ODM. They went, Raila was providing the presidential candidate, Kalonzo Musyoka was providing the running mate at that point in time. Similar to NAC, which have changed to National Liberation Party, the Mama and Baba in the Azimio ticket. It is only us who went joint ticket under UDA. So this perception that we are creating that coalition does not work, it works. We have seen it works. The only problem is maybe the perception and the buy-in of Kenyans that Kenyans should be aware. You know, Kenyans are always suspicious, should be aware that coalition is agreeable by law. And it is what, by the way, my brother said you need 50+1 to win as a president. You cannot win as an ordinary party. And you know, it is even, I'm surprised, these guys are lying to Dr. Fred Matiang'i, that you can win as a single party. You must have a coalition. And you have asked him a question whether he will attend. He cannot dare to attend that NDC of Jubilee. Because the moment he attends, the SG of ODM will write him a letter to show cause and take disciplinary action. He will lose his seat as an ODM senator. He will lose his seat as a commissioner in Parliamentary Service Commission. He will lose his seat and go back. In fact, he might go back and talk to Governor Nyaribo to give him a ticket to run in UPA. Because you ask him, do you attend NDC? And I want to agree with Makaliba. He said there are two formations of Jubilee. There is Jubilee led by Uhuru Kenyatta, which are only office holders. The rest of the Jubilee members of parliament are working with Kenya Kwanza, led by Sabina Chege. So which Jubilee is Matiang'i taking over? And I'm a former member of Jubilee.
It seems the one that is being led by Sabina Chege and the rest, that is the inconsequential.
It's not inconsequential. This,
because even they never featured in this meeting that was at Safari Park.
The two gentlemen who have sandwiched me will tell you it is more powerful to have an elected leader. And that is why all Jubilee members, except one or two, are working with President William Ruto and Kenya Kwanza. So that is why I take the advice of Makali that he said there are two formations of Jubilee. Uhuru Kenyatta Jubilee and Sabina Chege Jubilee. So which one is Fred Matiang'i taking over? And that NDC, I am not sure. And I'll be proven right because you can see the foot soldiers of Matiang'i, my brother Senator Okongo Mugeni, are not even intending to attend.
Why is this?
Because they don't know the value.
You're all in brief for
and I want to thank Alonso Musyoka. Let me conclude. I want to thank Alonso Musyoka. I want to thank Alonso Musyoka by saying he's going not to attend the NDC of Jubilee. Because the chaos and mess that Matiang'i might inherit is of monumental proportion. You remember Uhuru was my party leader in Jubilee. Uhuru, you cannot access him. Uhuru cannot campaign for anybody. He didn't even campaign for Raila Odinga. He didn't campaign for Azimio. He never even went to campaign in Katundu, his village. He never told his villagers, can you vote for Raila during Azimio? In fact, we defeated Uhuru Kenyatta in his own polling station by William Ruto. So I can tell you, I want to warn you, my brother Okongo Mugeni, and you are a good man. You will go to heaven. I want to warn you that if your hope is in Uhuru Kenyatta, let me not use unpalatable words because this is PG rated. If you are depending on Uhuru Kenyatta, you will not go anywhere. Even getting an MCA from Nyasiongo or Borabo, you will never get.
All right, let's say from...
but I think Debarl, what Chelagai has done is actually avoided answering your question. The question was on broad-based government.
Yes.
Where 64% of Kenyans are saying they are not happy with it, basically because it is not supporting democracy. It's actually diluting our democracy. And I agree with the Kenyans. Why am I agreeing with the Kenyans? I do agree with the Kenyans because what has happened as a result of the broad-based government, our colleagues in ODM have actually started working with the government. It's like they have crossed over to the government side. But they don't want to accept that they have crossed over. So you find we have a very confused arrangement, that in that arrangement, we have a minority leader who is supposed to be a very strong person in terms of checks and balances, who seems to be speaking the language of the Kenya Kwanza government. So in totality, the issue of oversight has been diluted. And there remain the few voices which have remained the other side and who remain voices of reason. They are so such a small number that when we go now to the democratic way of doing things, where the majority have their say and the minority have the majority have their way and the minority have their say, then we end up losing almost all the bills, even if we want to oppose them. Basically because our colleagues, we are seated with them the same side, but they're not with us in terms of decision making. And I think Kenyans are saying they would wish to see an arrangement in parliament whereby if you say you're in the minority, then you stand the ground of the minority. If you're in the majority, you stand the ground of the majority. But we have a stage where we have those who are claimed to be in the minority are actually in the majority. And then the minority is weakened to an extent that then even when you say no to something, the number doesn't matter. And I think that's what Kenyans are saying. So I would want to see a situation where we grow our democracy to a level where if Cheregai decides today that I'm working in the government, then he crosses over without any pretense that he goes to that side and works the government. Yesterday you saw what the party leader of ODM said. He said he didn't give any assurance to Kenya Kwanza that 2027 he will be supporting them. So today in parliament it was a very comical style. People were saying he has now already eaten enough. He wants to prepare for another handshake with Kalonzo Musyoka when he takes over 2027.
But
you can see these scenarios.
You
can see these scenarios.
Is he sensing any,
That's what we don't know, but we are just saying that I think we need a bit of honesty.
I will clarify.
In our politics.
Yeah.
We need a bit of honesty. Because what Kenyans are telling us is,
Yes.
you guys who are in politics, the three of us seated here, can you be honest with yourselves? That if you support the government 100%.
Yes.
If you don't support the government, then provide that checks and balances so that Kenyans can get value for their money in terms of oversight and the other issues.
And President William Ruto has admitted before, that he did not really understand even when we had, the BBI with Raila Odinga and Uhuru Kenyatta again. What was this? It was a mongrel.
Yes.
We have naturalists who normally say that, an animal with two heads is a bizarrity.
And actually,
and an animal without a head is dead.
And I suspect that's why Wakaruma could not come to this show.
Why?
I think it really changed. Yes.
We'll be putting him in
Debarl, I'm the only one who can speak with authority.
Regarding
Because I'm a member of the arrangement, and it was signed publicly between UDA and ODM. Sorry, let me answer so that my senior brother can come on board. On broad-based government, I think Kenyans should be informed that initially, as even Raila put it on Monday, that it was gentleman's agreement. But after some time, we signed what we call a working partnership between ODM and UDA, and that is what we call post-coalition agreement. And the conditions were set. There were 10 conditions that were put on. One of them, my brother has alluded to, on the issue of extrajudicial killings and compensation of victims, and many other issues, even issues of corruption and evolution, and many other. New media covered it.
This is a formal MOU.
Yes, it is a formal working arrangement. So for people to say it's a mongrel is
What do you mean
big.
by formal?
It was signed. It is working
Chalaga, you are a
partnership.
lawyer, please.
I'm telling you, that is, can I be allowed to make my point?
As long as you don't mislead Kenya.
I'm not misleading Kenyans. It was in KICC. You broadcast, it was here in TV 47. When President William Ruto and Raila Odinga signed a working partnership between UDA, or Kenya Kwanza, and ODM. And there were 10 agendas that were put. You know, my brother, senior Okongo Mugeni, has run away from ODM until he doesn't know what is happening. Because ODM is a member of this working partnership. And therefore, Kenyans should be made to understand. And I think what Kenyans are saying, let us be clear. And I agree with Makale that as politicians, we must be clear. There should be clarity. Say that when you go for post-coalition agreement, You put it in a proper way, and Kenyans should be informed. And Kenyans should be aware, I began by saying Kenyans should be aware that having a coalition is part of strengthening democracy. Because in anywhere across the world, coalitions work.
Yeah, but
and
these
my
post-coalitions are
agreements. For example,
can I help Cherargei? You know, he's a lawyer. He can find himself in trouble for professional misconduct.
No, there is no problem.
Where does the registrar of political parties comes in with this particular coalition agreement?
Debarl, let's talk facts. Let's talk facts. Cherargei is a lawyer. He knows what the provisions of the Political Parties Act are. It's a matter of fact that there is no post-election coalition agreement between UDA and ODM. That's a fact.
And when was it deposited to the political parties?
Whatever he's talking about is, as he said, a two gentlemen's agreement on resolving some issues facing the nation.
Which is not really binding.
Which is not binding. It's got no legal recognition, no legal framework, okay? So when we talk about post-election coalition agreement, these are serious agreements like what you see in France, and they normally happen, by the way, in parliamentary democracy, where a prime minister needs majority members of parliament to run government.
Not in presidential.
Not in presidential. Have you ever seen a coalition in the US? This constitution, Cherargei knows, he's a lawyer. It's like 90% borrowed from the US. Because the US is a full presidential system. You have never had a coalition agreement being signed in the US, but you will see it in Germany, you will see it in France, in countries that have parliamentary
in Israel.
Democracy. This one of ours has a framework of majority party and minority party. And a president can come from either. A president can come from minority or from majority. So you really don't need a coalition in a presidential system. All you need is to accept the governance and accountability structures that are in this constitution. That as a government you propose your laws, or you make your nominees, you propose your nominees, they go to parliament, they are vetted, approved, or rejected. And then parliament also plays its role, the way Dr. Makali is saying, of ensuring that there is accountability demanded from the government of the day. Debarl, when you see 64%, I think this is somebody who will be allowed to join any university if you score 64. When you see 64% of Kenyans telling you that that idea is unpopular, it means if we did a referendum today on this policy shift, Kenyans will say a big no, you know? And I think we are almost reaching a place where we should uplift our national values to another level in chapter 10. When the constitution tells you when you do a policy shift, there should be public participation. What does that mean? Because you can't just wake up one day and say, you want to set up a government that weakens the oversight institution of parliament, and you say you have created a broad-based government, which is not on in our constitution. If you are in a country like Switzerland, you will subject this to a referendum. And if this went to a referendum, Kenyans will say a resounding no, because 64% are telling you they don't want it. If we were in Switzerland, this will not work, because every law that you pass in Switzerland must be subjected to a referendum, okay? The same thing even with countries like Australia. Even to extend the time for opening a bar, if the law says 10 p.m. and you want to extend it to 11, you subject that law to the referendum. So in very, very firm language, Kenyans have told us they don't want broad-based government. And if we were decent people, we should respect the message that we are getting from Kenyans and revert back to what our constitution demands of us.
But someone would argue that we've already, passed that junction.
Which one?
We should just go full steam ahead and let it be until 2027 when Kenya announced.
You see, the problem, Debarl, this is the problem I have with us accepting a policy shift. What this means is that a future president will also do the same thing. Because we are trying to normalize something that is extra constitutional. another president will come tomorrow and say, President Ruto did it with ODM. I can also do it.
Even
okay?
President Kenyatta.
Yeah, even somebody will say Kenyatta did it, and I'll also do it. So it's good that we stop some of these actions that are extra constitutional. Did you see what happened in South Korea? Okay? The president of South Korea is in jail now.
Yes, yes.
Okay? Simply because he wanted to overthrow the constitution, applying martial law in a situation that totally was uncalled for. And that's how serious countries take their constitution, that you must play within the four corners of this constitution. Any action that you do, the constitution states very clearly that this constitution binds all of us. Whether you are a president, you are a member of the Senate, you are a judge, you are bound by this constitution. When we allow bad practices, Debarl, what we are doing is that we are watering down this very good document that was celebrated by all over the world as a very progressive constitution. Now,
thank you.
I have heard my brother castigating a statesman like Uhuru Kenyatta and saying Uhuru Kenyatta cannot give you any votes. He never campaigned for anybody. You know, without Uhuru Kenyatta nominating President President Ruto as his running mate, I doubt whether President Ruto will be president today. And he did that magnanimous decision of saying, I'm picking my brother William, making him a running mate. And now you're hearing Cherage here, he's castigating a former retired president who did 2 terms and saying he can't deliver any vote. I want to remind him, and we'll cross that bridge in 2027. They did not campaign in Central. It is Gachagua who campaigned in Central. and I'm telling you, in 2027, you will be lucky to even get an MCA from Central. That's when you realize the force of Gachagua. Yeah? You know, he's chest thumping here, telling us that they are the ones who campaigned in. The votes from Central were delivered by Gachagua, my brother.
To UDA?
Yes.
Yeah, but so, it's a fact.
That is a fact.
I will reply when my time comes.
Okay.
That is a fact.
Hang on,
finally,
yes.
It's not him to judge whether I will attend the NDC. And we don't want this idea of being given threats by the likes of Cherage. I have a constitutional right. You know,
which
these
is what?
People will call
right of association.
Despots. You know, I don't know that you followed what William Ruto did in the run-up to elections. He poached members from all political parties and was moving around with them. Wakinaisha Juma, that was our member. ODM, and she shifted alliance to him.
And
my friend
Kemosi
was a member of Ford Kenya.
He declined.
And he shifted to UDA. And they were moving around. They didn't see anything wrong. The other day, Gloria Uroba just went to the airport to welcome Matiang'i. And they have done something that is unprecedented. They have chased that poor lady from the Senate simply because she went to the airport to welcome our brother, Dr. Matiang'i, back to the country. Can you see how intolerant these UDA party is? They don't respect democratic ideals. They don't understand that this constitution as a chapter that has what we call fundamental. Can you underline the word fundamental? Fundamental freedoms and rights.
But could we also remind you that also we had, members of parliament who went to State House, and ODM also was on the brink of actually, disciplining this.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah.
You see the difference?
Parliament.
So
the difference. The difference between ODM and UDA is that when the tribunal issued an order, he will tell you Mwaura was allowed back to the Senate. But because UDA does not respect our laws, Gloria Uroba as an order from just like Mwaura had. When Mwaura presented the order to the speaker, he was allowed back. This government of UDA, they are telling Kenya they don't care. They don't care about court orders. Gloria Uroba has a court order.
I will shoot back.
Right. Let me come to Dr. Makali.
Yes.
And I wanted just to ask you, especially what is really happening with the UPA and the Jubilee Party and Dr. Matiang'i, but Dr. Matiang'i also has not been very consistent within the united opposition, right? Not really appearing in most of the meetings as well. What does it really portend for the united opposition and the Jubilee Party, where we have also the DCP, which it's looking at the emergence of the Jubilee Party as a big threat, to its popularity in the central region or Mount Kenya.
And I think, truth be said,
is there any looming implosion?
Jubilee, before DCP, Jubilee has been the party of the mountain, and then DCP has come. So the truth of the matter is that an attempt to make Jubilee become more active again is an attempt to reduce the influence of DCP in the mountain area. And what that means basically is that anybody and any right-thinking politician would want to protect their turf in terms of ensuring that you are the only party in that region so that you get more elected positions. And we are lucky to see this happening in many regions. I think any region, even UDA, if you go to the region which is Rift Valley, you realize that they don't want to see another party coming up. Kanu used to belong to that region. They have almost killed Kanu. Kanu is no longer, you see, Kanu is like he's dead, even though they pretend to be there. So what is happening generally and what will happen, and I see it happening because we have to be very honest with ourselves, is that there will be serious infighting between Jubilee and DCP. And this was just basically for purposes of trying that any one of them can get a lion's share of that block, the 40 block. So you are yet to see much more happening. And that's how you see, some people are celebrating the fact that Jubilee is divided. The courts have given the leadership to the whole function. But even the Sabina Cheke function, anytime they go to Kenya Kwanza meetings, they are given a chance to talk like Jubilee, because that division is serving some purpose for the other party. And for me, from where I see it, is that Debarl, this is something you'll have to live with for some time, and it will be happening in other areas. Because even when you come to our region, there are other parties which are also coming up. We have Maendeleo Chap Chap, which is there. We have Muungano, which is there. We have NAG of Gil, which is there. But what we are always trying at any point is to make sure that those parties we don't mention them. Because we should be, Wiper Patriotic Front should be the party of that region, and we are pushing.
So do you read any political sleight of hand that is maybe coming from the upper reaches of government?
Obvious.
With this particular
wage
that is being driven?
Obvious it is there. And let me tell you also, the issue of Matiang'i, Matiang'i has not been any political party in the past. Matiang'i was a technocrat. So what has happened now, he has come back. And I agree with what Senator is saying, that he is still trying to find his base.
Correct.
I think we need to allow him time to sample a number of parties and see where he can fit well. And I like this proposal where we are saying any party which can adapt to somebody who can be a presidential material, we should run for this particular candidate, because if we think he can become a serious presidential candidate, then any party should actually be competing to have him as the presidential candidate, because that will add value to that party.
So how does it work within the united opposition, now that we have everyone who is pronouncing his presidential candidacy or being the presidential of their party?
No, I think what we have done...
Matiang'i is here, but you need to come with one presidential hopeful.
No, I think what we have agreed as a united opposition is that our politics being informed much more through regional blocks. We have said you need to unite these regional blocks first, and then unite the coalition. Because a united DCP, a united Wiper Patriotic Front, a united DAPK would lead to a united opposition. So the first thing is, and I think that's which one of them is doing. So as we are not worried when they say they are all presidential materials, it will just be one among the equals. And when that time comes, we'll be able to tell Kenyans who is this presidential candidate. For now, we are telling Kenyans, you have a bad government, which is not delivering as promised, and the Kenyans have confirmed by the statistics you are mentioning there. So we'll be giving them the alternative.
All right.
And when that time comes, Debarl, you can be rest assured we will do that.
But you seem not to be putting your act together very quickly.
But you see,
really slow on the uptake, even coming up with just a simple name. We saw the names that were fronted there. I don't know how true they are. But we found Muungano, Ukombozi. It sounds like a choir names. Even for them, you can't...
No, Debarl, you have been unfair to us. Debarl,
even for the names, you can't just pick up a name up to now.
Debarl, naturally, building teams takes time. These are people who have been operating independently. So anytime you want to put a team together, and this is based on the team theory, that for you to put a team and a strong team in place, there are stages. You must build it phase by phase. So unless you want us to give something which is not properly planned and properly constituted, then I think you need to allow us more time to do what we are doing.
Cherogei, if history may bear them down, I think this is where they were still trying to put your act together. And UDA seemed to be a formidable machine, with the watches, the campaign, the strategy. Azimio still were not really intact.
No, we have learned our lessons.
You've learned your lessons, but it seems you're still playing, in the shallows and not in the deep end at the end of the day. Let's see.
Maybe before I answer that is that I've had a senator, my brother here, commissioner, talking about this issue of coalition, that it should be clear. But I think this is the advice that he needs to be attending parliamentary group meetings of ODM. Because on Monday, BAMBA was speaking and everybody was clapping, including him. I don't know whether he attended or not. Because if he wanted his party, because if the party is comfortable, and the party, the owner of the party, and the party is Raila Odinga. ODM is ODM with Raila Odinga. Raila Odinga is ODM, just like Wiper. You cannot have Wiper without Kalonzo Musyoka. And I'm wishing my brother well. He's running for governor of Kitui.
Yes.
But I'm worried somebody else has been given the nomination certificate.
Where now?
So we are already aware. It should be nice. It should be nice to me. So
Where? Which
it should be nice to me. Because when William Ruto gets re-elected, I will look for him a boat chair or something.
Party nominations
Party
nominations are 2027 March. What's wrong with this law?
I'm telling you, I know, because
the game has already been played.
He's a good, loyal person in
that's
but I'm asking him not to be hard on some of us.
Maybe
because he might need to look for me after 27.
Yes.
Just as
a board chair.
Just as he might need to look for me. That's okay. I agree. He might also need to look for me, so I agree. I have no problem.
So on the issue of, and I want to disassociate, Jubilee is a national party. Some of us are former members of Jubilee. You cannot compare DCP, which is a village party, with a Jubilee party. Jubilee has run government. Jubilee is known across the country. So there is no comparison. And I want to confirm the reason even Dr. Fred Matiang'i is looking, salivating for Jubilee party is because that national outlook, that presence that has ever had across the nation. And like DCP or Wiper, where it is only operating between Kitui, Machakos and Makueni. On the issue of united opposition, I can tell you those people will never be united. You have listened to former deputy president Wiley Muranga. He has insisted as he's the best candidate to defeat us, which is not possible. Kalonzo, the same thing. Kalonzo was appearing in one of your sister media colleagues. He's insisting he's the best bet. Matiang'i is insisting, I can bet to you, and you can take this to the bank and take a loan and build somewhere in Luanda a property. These people, they are never united opposition. There is a lot of suspicion. In fact, when there were issues that Kalonzo is working with government, you heard what the former prime minister, former deputy president said in some meeting here in Mulolongo. So I can tell you, until cows come home, they'll never be united. Because the people who support Matiang'i, like my brother Okongo, will always insist that Matiang'i will be on the ballot. Do you know why they insist? Do you know why Makali Mulu insists that Wiper will be on the ballot paper, Kalonzo? Do you know why the people like colleagues who are following former deputy president? Because it gives them an advantage in their home ground. If Makali Mulu says today that Kalonzo Musyoka should deputize so and so, he might not get elected. Same to Okongo Mugeni. Okongo must insist Matiang'i will run for president for political survival in Nyamira.
Debarl, I think.
So those are some of the, I'm telling you.
What about
even me?
ODM will.
No.
Even
Debarl,
you know, getting currency in Kisii.
No.
Can I finish?
Don't allow Cherogei to get that lie.
You can reply.
I've been elected not once, but twice as senator of Nyamira.
But honestly,
on my own right, I've not been
But under
elected.
ODM.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I could have.
Are
won,
you still confident with ODM yourself?
I could have won
From the deepest recesses of your heart, are you confident?
Are you running with ODM in 2027?
Under ODM?
You know, by the way, the problem I have is with Ruto. I have no problem with the ODM.
ODM associating with Ruto?
Yes, that's why I have a problem. Yes. But I can tell you, so, like he's telling me I did not attend the PG of 22nd. If he had, the party leader of ODM said, people talking about 2 terms. It's nonsense. That's what he said. He didn't say that we go and support William Ruto. Program is and that far, I agree with Raila that we should not, as a party, be speaking about 2 terms. That far, I agree. The problem we have is with the policies and the leadership approach of President William Ruto. We don't have any problem with our respective parties, including ODM. That should be very clear. The only problem we have is with William Ruto. The person we want to send home, Debarl, is President William Ruto, not Raila Amolo Odinga. And I'm sure, I'm confident that in the fullness of time, Cherage should write down this date.
Does this really inform the question? Just a moment. I'd asked him before, why he never...
Can he run again in ODM?
Why?
No. When I asked you why ODM is struggling to get a candidate in Nyamira County right now for the by-elections, is it because he's also losing the popularity? We have Nyasiongo, Nyamira, Nyamaya, and Ekerenyo.
The truth
why are you struggling?
No. The truth of the matter is that we have mismanaged some decision-making issues as ODM, especially on the selection of cabinet secretaries, selection of permanent secretaries, leaving out some key members of ODM from this coalition government. So I am sure, and I have to be honest to my party, that the people on the ground are not very happy with the party leader and the ODM as a party because of some of the decisions that we made. Also, people are not happy that some people have been making pronouncements which are perceived to be having the full backing of the party leadership. When they come to the ground as members of ODM and say, we are going to support William Ruto 2nd term, I can tell you, Debarl, I've told you I've come from Nyamira today. UDA is very unpopular on the ground, very unpopular. You know, when UDA was taking government, our farmers were getting T-bonus of up to 30 shillings. And you remember in the campaign, William Ruto told them, once I take power, I'm going to organize farming. There will be prosperity for farmers. In that word you have mentioned, Nyasiongo. In Nyasiongo tea factory, farmers are getting bonus of 13 shillings. 1-3. From 30 shillings to 13 shillings. That's why the popularity is dwindling. Because the policies of UDA as a party does not resonate with so many Kenyans. So that would explain why, you can't force people to seek an election through your party. It's them who approach you and say, we want to run on ODM. So if you find that in Nyamaya, Ekerenyo, Nyasiongo, you make an announcement and people don't come forward to pick forms, what you do is you retreat as a party and ask
yourself,
why are we becoming unpopular? You must assess what is causing that unpopularity in an area that you have been very popular. That is the logical explanation.
Isn't this a bellwether for you? Because even that one is your region, yes, that ODM is not popular anymore.
And
so
the
will you still,
ODM.
You're the senator, of ODM, and yet you're struggling to get one person from there. So will you be running?
You see, Debarl, my tenure is for 5 years. And 5 years, I'm going to serve as a senator of ODM. Other decisions will be made when we come to 2027. You never know.
And
you have had
other decisions.
By the way, Debarl,
No,
can I conclude? Debarl,
He's intending to run for the governorship, maybe.
And by the way, Debarl,
Yeah, that is another decision.
you know, Debarl, you had you have
Yes.
a discussion here, and my friend was celebrating that the opposition does not have
Let's
a
say
name. Is that what you are saying?
Yeah, we'll come back
that
to
we
that.
have not picked a name
Debarl,
for the opposition.
We'll come back to that.
And Debarl, for your information,
Yes, please.
for your information, while they are running away from ODM, Wiper now we have 2 candidates for those
Wards.
wards.
Yes.
We have candidates. People have come and picked our, so you can see the party is becoming more national. But I wanted to come. I wanted just to elaborate on the issue Honorable Sheragai was talking about. The issue of where we need to contest as members of parliament. We are politicians. And to be honest with you, a smart politician will always listen to these people, what they are people, what they are saying. Because we are voted in. So it means you must listen to what the people are saying, the people who vote you in. And that's why you see, for some of us, the regions we come from, there are parties which we want it or not, you have to associate with them because that is where our people are.
Correct.
I would be not good enough, I would not be smart if I were to say, I go pick now a party like UDA and I go with it to my region. I would be losing even before I start. So Cheragai must appreciate that fact that even when we associate with the parties we associate with, to tumesikiza ground, what the ground is saying. And unless he wants me to become irrelevant, that's why even him, you remember at some point alikuwa ameanza kuchapa UDA baya sana. Sasa amerudi. He's now judgment number 1. Because he realized he's going to be one term. This one
I'm enjoying several terms.
It will become one term.
Maybe I'm a long term. You know, I'm not even I'm long term.
Now he's doing the
long time. No, it's not even
a 2 term.
No. What Magali is saying, what Magali is saying is simple. All politics is local.
Yeah, basically.
And that is why that is the principle of united opposition. That they are saying go and unite our region. Then the question should be, are we advancing ethnic conclave? Because that is what is happening. And that is what Moi wants us against. That vyama vya vyumo mingi italeta ukabila. And that is why he has I like Makali is an honest man. He will also go to heaven. Because he has just said, we sat somewhere in a room, taking chai and mandazi, and told Matiang'i and Okongo, go and unite the Kisis. You Wiper, go and size the campus. You Wamunyoro, go and size the Kikuyus.
No regions.
Then come on
not
the table.
Tribes, regions.
It is the same thing. Regions and tribe. When you say Eastern, it is campus. When you say Kisi Nyanza, it's Kisi. And it's a fact. So this united opposition are just a bunch or a club of ethnic conclave, which is dangerous for the politics. And that is why the president has always insisted that we must have a country that we do politics devoid of ethnicity that we have. And I want to correct my brother, he talked about issue of farming. I'm also affected with issues of bonuses. It's not only in Nyamira or Kisi, it is part of the Western Rift, and I wish he could join me to find. Why is it that in the Central Rift, the Central Kenya part, the bonuses and also payment of tea is a bit higher? That is what we are doing in what you call tea sector reforms, and I wish to invite him. We always have a roundtable discussion on trying to do sector reforms. He knows beyond bonuses and payment of kilos of tea and buying tea in our factories, there is more bigger problem in the tea sector. But he needs to thank the president that when President William Ruto took over, the fertilizer 50 kilos was 7,000. It is the president who brought the subsidy program to 2,500. And that is why the president said, let us subsidize production over consumption. Because you remember the UNGA subsidy was not sustainable. As the projection that we have today, courtesy of the subsidy program of fertilizer, we are going to harvest 76 million bags of maize. That has never happened in the history of this republic because of the bold move of the president of subsidizing production over consumption. I agree tea sector has problems. Even in Nandi, we face similar problems. In Kisi, from Bomet all the way to Kericho. But my brother knows that there is much more. Even he needs to appreciate because Kisi and Nyamira are also beneficiaries of sugar sector. I want to thank both of them because they are part of the people who midwife the Sugar Act, which brought reforms, including bonuses in sugar sector, that they had gone down, courtesy of the government of the day. we sat and agreed that we must do sector reforms in the sugar sector. That reform has been done, and that is why you saw farmers in Mumias receiving bonuses. So, and even dengue, I saw a mang bill, I don't know where it reached. There was a mang law.
Yeah.
And then we have now, it is good this conversation has been provoked. The issue of coffee bill, I want to appeal to you that you need to fast track the Coffee Bill Act because our farmers are also suffering. I know you have coffee in Nyamira. We must be, we must do our part.
We don't have sugarcane, just to correct you.
Yeah, oh, sorry, but I think, is it in Kisii?
No. There is a small part, actually one constituency.
Okay, thank you for that information.
Yeah, so what resonates with our farmers?
It's a subsistence farming.
That is why I want us to ask,
and coffee.
and that is why I'm asking them, we sit here.
On a large scale.
The coffee bill is in parliament. In fact, as we sit here, my brother Okongo Mugeni and Makalimul should be telling us, as parliament we have passed the coffee bill, we need the president to assent to it so that we can do coffee reforms. We create, you remember Okongo Mugeni, we complained in the last parliament that the coffee cherry fund of 10 billion was taken to Mount Kenya. And Dr. Fred Matiang'i was a minister, and he comes from Kisii. Why didn't he ensure that 10 billion that was being taken to Mount Kenya was being also taken the coffee cherry fund? He was on record, and I want to, if I can produce the answer. Me and Okongo Mugeni, even we protest and Senator Wetangula then, because the 10 billion was taken to one region. So we also need to be fair. You come speak with them, must come to clean hands. Let us also say the government has not done, but as parliament, what have we done?
Yeah, so they should fast track the coffee bill.
No. You see, when President Ruto took over, he had this policy shift. Instead of supporting farmers, he has brought this thing they call, these things they run with money in sacks, empowerment.
Empowerment program.
Economic empowerment forums. And you,
Arambes.
I don't know what you call them. Me, I'm struggling as a scholar to understand that development model. That we live in a country where people carry money in sacks. I don't know why they withdraw that money.
I've never seen
It's not
that.
a development model.
What? I don't understand it. It's a mongering. They come in a meeting,
But I've never seen
money in
that
sacks,
money in sacks.
and then they find people have come so many, they say now we'll empower everybody. Do you know in Nyamira they gave women 64 shillings as an empowerment, an economic empowerment model. But
Debarl, can
thing,
you allow him to the sensationalizing?
No, that is a
Arambes
fact.
have always been there.
That is a fact. This is not
Even
an
every
Arambe.
weekend, you will go for an Arambe.
In fact, Debarl, that is a matter that should be reported to the international financial institutions because it's money laundering.
It's money laundering.
Nobody understands where that money comes from. You just land in a place and in your vehicles there are money in boxes, you come out, you look how many people are there and you say we want to share. That's not what we want, please.
You know, when you're not generous, you complain.
Now you can't be generous with 64 shillings.
Or you don't have the money.
He's generalizing.
You know what? Do you know,
Debarl?
we struggled a lot in last parliament.
Produce his M-Pesa messages?
We struggled a lot in last parliament and created some minimum price for farmers, tea farmers. And our farmers were getting good returns. This UDA government said that farming is not important. What is important is those economic empowerment things. We'll give people money and call them to State House and feed them and they go back. They removed it. That's where the problems of farmers started. Worse still, if you remember, I fought so hard in BBI to import a model from the US. You know, the US has a minimum return for farmers. Okay? Where, I was so passionate.
I remember.
Where they cushion farmers. If there is bad weather and a farmer has invested, you have, tilled your land, bought
guaranteed minimum return.
It's guaranteed that the government will step in and pay you. Okay? And that's what we are. Then they came and opposed William Ruto and his brigade, President William Ruto and his brigade, opposed it. So our farmers now don't have a guaranteed minimum return. It means that a farmer can spend 30 shillings. He has told you about fertilizer, paying the guy who is plucking the tea and all this. You spend 30 shillings, then you are paid 13 shillings. I mean, what are we doing to our farmers?
Thank you.
And then Debarl.
Thank you. Yes, you were just about to conclude.
Can you give me a minute?
Yes.
And then Debarl, you tell us that these farmers are going to do an opinion poll and say that UDA is a popular party. They will not.
Can't.
They will say this is the worst government. This is the worst party we have seen. And that's why I was advising my friend that let him go back to the drawing board and ask why they are scoring 16% out of 100. It's because of their poor policies. If you go to Nyamira now, my friend, those farmers will not listen to you because everybody who is working home with 13 shillings.
But we are being welcome for empowerment programs in Nyamira.
Yeah, we have advised them when they see them. It's public money.
And by the way, let me correct before you give to as a closing remark. Let me correct by saying those empowerment programs happen. Arambes happen. He will tell you if he can produce his M-Pesa messages, how many Arambes he has contributed today. To funerals, to school fees, to many things. All of us as politicians, because the Arambe street is with us. And by the way, to correct the record, I have never seen. I have been in these empowerment programs that I have seen money being carried to sacks. I think he wants to trend or to sensationalize anything because most of the contributions that some of us give is our own money. And they will tell you as politicians, even when you walk, when he was driving here, if they say, Mheshimiwa, VP, can you buy lunch? It is just empowerment programs. And those empowerment programs have changed lives. What these guys are doing, when we go and fundraise 10 million, they will go and do their numbers and then divide, according and say 64 shillings. It is not. We fundraise for groups. For example, it is for groups rearing chicken. They buy a machine to kuangua eggs. What do you call to hatch eggs? We also we gave them motorbikes. You have seen in several, the one saloon, and many young people, the stories, and I want to request media.
So actually,
so that we correct this notion, I want to request media to visit some of these groups and do an interview.
And also so see how money is carried.
So there's no money. Media would have captured, and most of our events of empowerment are never done in secrecy.
All right.
It is open.
My director is reminding
and it is live.
My director is reminding me, why don't we then empower the police with the fuel? Yeah?
Yeah, with the fuel.
No, that was a very unfortunate that was a very unfortunate statement.
And you know, Debarl,
that goes to the competency of the minister.
This empowerment is not standard.
Now you are coming where I wanted to go. That is now the competency of the minister. I think Murkomen there, that was shocking. You know, you cannot agree corruption and say it should be allowed. He should be telling us that there is enough fuel for police to do their job. Because if you now go and, that is incompetence. An inability to comprehend what you should be doing.
But isn't it the reality?
The money we budget.
Surely?
No, it is.
We budget money.
Yeah. Those are things that have been there for the longest time. He's just spoken it.
Yeah, Debarl, I think what is happening, I think what Mukomen says is the reality on the ground.
Yes.
That actually most of these
but they should not be encouraging.
Of late are lying purely mostly on the CDF offices.
Yes.
Because you find
but fuel?
The aid they are being given is so low that they cannot even take care of their own operational expenses.
Yes.
So I think what we need to do is to provide for the police. And that's why I agree with your director that instead of this money they are dishing all over the place. And for your information, that money is not being given in a uniform way. You find, like in their region, because they are in the right region, they might be able to give motorcycles. In our region, they give 20 shillings, 64 shillings, like what Amugene is saying.
In Nyamira.
It's only that he never.
But you know, there is no evidence.
So, but
by the way, on the issue of police fuel, the people who are appropriating budget are us.
The people who are getting this money are our supporters.
Yes.
Are you forgetting that? When they come to Kitui Central and they do their things and they leave, the people who are going to share this money.
But when they invite us, they say it's for group. They don't say it is for individual handouts.
The truth of the matter is, this model they have adapted it doesn't exist in the economics books.
Yeah,
it's their own model.
But Arambes never exist in economic books.
They don't know where they're.
He does Arambes. He wants to be the governor. I can tell you in most of
the. So that is Arambe.
That's Arambe. It's the same thing. It is Arambe and empowerment. If we come, let me ask you, Val, if we come and fundraise you to go to a school, or to pay an hospital bill, or to empower a youth group to buy a car washing machine, what is that? It's empowerment, but it's Arambe. So in fact, they are misleading. They will tell you, they are pretending.
All right, we need to wind up now.
You should not preach wine and be drinking water.
We need to know where they're getting this money from.
Yeah, that's what we need to know.
Actually, KRA,
can I answer?
He says their own money. KRA should be on this guy's neck to tell us what portion of tax.
Can I answer?
Has he paid for that money?
Can I answer?
Yeah, from the confidential accounts.
That's because it's income.
Can I answer? It is my money. I also sell, apart from earning salary from the esteem, I also have my small businesses. A few rentals. I also have cows. I have a tree. Sometimes I felt so. sometimes I feel the money belongs to me. So I give out, and that is why when I go to a function, I give out maybe 100,000 because that's what I can afford. Him, he could be having a better, let me use him as an example, or him, he could have a better business. They give 500,000, they give $1 million. It depends on how Lord has blessed you. If God has blessed you richly, you give it richly. So this guy should be praying to God to bless them more so that you give more, because the Bible says, blessed is the hand that giveth than
By the way, Debarl, let me tell you, you see, why the vehicles don't have money, that's the money that is being taken, and being given in empowerment.
No. I think you can never allow.
That is the truth.
Let me tell you, if you are a
these
good
are the people who are
Let him finish.
You see, let me tell you, we saw these things. Maybe Cherage is a bit young. We may not have seen it. You know, when Moi brought that culture of walking around with money and giving money and doing these arambes, our roads were impassable. Today I drove through Nyambaria school, a school that had very good tarmac. Potholes everywhere. Go to the Nairobi here, even to Gekomba, potholes everywhere. Because money that is supposed to be channeled for development is being withdrawn, being dished out, and being given freely in various places across the country. And I'm telling you, in the next, I'm talking about television. I'm telling you,
I'll give time to,
and I'm challenging those who do these what do they call empowerment economic programs. Let them tell us. You have talked of an M-Pesa. Let them tell us whether they are sent to any of those residents money through M-Pesa. They have never. They come with that money in cash. Go to their accounts. Nobody has withdrawn money from their accounts to come and give it in empowerment meetings. That money comes from government. And that is what is causing us problems. By the way, he knows that's why Debarl, we are having challenges with managing our development budget. It is science. It is pure science. It is scientific. And I'm appealing, let me tell you, I'm appealing to the government of the day. You continue that way, you're going to ruin this country. You cannot develop through that model. You can take it to a university and they study. They will tell you, this one, you are ruining a country. You can never develop a country that way. It can never happen. I'm telling you.
So Debarl,
we need to...
You know, these people are just sensationalizing as we conclude. Because the money that is being given is out of generosity. It's just like an arambe. Because, by the way, National Assembly and the Senate or Parliament, we appropriate the budget. We are the ones who pass budget. In fact, if the minister, for example, have a challenge in terms of allocation to fuel, he would appear before his committee, I don't know whether he still sits in budget, finance and budget, and do the estimates and say this is what ministry needs. But the money that is passed in Parliament, the National Assembly and the Senate, we oversight. So if Senator Okongo Mugeni says the roads have not been made because money has been withdrawn and taken to empowerment, he has an opportunity as a parliamentarian, but he's lamenting more than the bereaved. Because he should be saying, this is the evidence I have shown. The road in Nyambaria was allocated 10 million, but it has never been done. He should bring the budget and tell us our roads in Nyamira, this the much was allocated, these are the kilometers, this one was never, and they can do their oversight. Unless we are failing, because Debarl, I've been part of those organizing empowerment programs. And I want to assure him we'll be in Kitui Central. We are always in Nyamira, even today and every day. Nyamira we are always there. We will come and empower the people of Nyamira. Whether they are senator likes it or not, even Kitui, whether he wants to become the governor or not, we will empower the people. Because we believe that opportunity is to give Kenyans, unless today, and I want to challenge my two colleagues, let's go to Parliament, do an appropriation, and give each and every youth group, women group, and circles the money through the budget. Then this empowerment will stop.
Right, Mokali, you want to give a rejoice there?
That's the only way.
Your closing remarks?
Debarl, what we are saying is this.
I didn't close.
Yes, close.
It's unfortunate.
We'll come to you.
What is happening is unfortunate because we are saying the kind of money they are giving out is money if we've properly planned for can actually change this country to some extent.
Yes.
But the way they are doing it is going to have minimal impact. How I wish they could listen to some of us who are economists, and we have so many of them in Treasury. they would help them to get it right.
But crossovers.
But you know, they don't listen. That's the problem with them. They don't listen. So we keep on talking Debarl, and we will never tire of talking these things, because one day somebody will say, we used to say the truth. Let us empower Kenyans in a sustainable way. What we are doing is giving handouts to Kenyans, and handouts have never transformed any country.
Yeah.
They have never.
Never.
So it's for them to choose. If they want to go the handout way, we can see how the whole things are working. Very soon they will be at 5%. And I can tell you for sure, by the time they hit their zero, they will see what it means.
But Wiper is in negative. There are more worse.
No, we are not.
You know, Debarl,
Okay.
I'm challenging these guys who are doing these empowerments. Walk to this studio and show us the withdrawal slips from your accounts.
I can
Because
show.
we know how much you have given. We know how much the DP has dished out. Come and display the motorcycles that were being given out. Was it in Kapseret?
Yeah, Kapseret.
Let's see the vouchers. And I check the person who said, now I'm being philanthropic and I'm giving out these motorcycles. Give us the voucher and show us the account where that money came from. Okay? If it is the president, let's see his tax returns. How much does he make? How much does he earn? How much has he withdrawn from his account? Because Debarl, we must push for accountability. And accountability here, we must borrow best practices. We also have what we call post-presidential prosecutions. It doesn't mean that if you mess the country in 5 years, then you get immunity when you leave office.
So this is the South Korea way.
Yeah, not South Korea, even in Brazil. There are many countries.
Yes.
You have seen presidents leave office in South Africa here in Africa. The other day they were singing and saying, oh, you know, in Africa, you cannot have a president doing one term. You know, now it's becoming the norm. You have seen the trend. Zambia went to Liberia, it's now Malawi, then it will come to Kenya. You heard the song, we're being told it can never happen. Look at the airport. Look at the airport. It looks like a cattle dip. Yet, we are spending you add together all this money that has been siphoned from government and being dished out to people.
Thank you.
You give somebody 100 shillings, Debarl.
We need to wind up.
Yeah, how can that money transform any life?
Thank you.
If they want to do empowerment as a government model, let us supply the numbers of Kenyans, then you send M-Pesa to everybody. Then we'll say the government is empowering people.
All right.
I'll give the M-Pesa from Nyamira.
I can conclude.
Makali will give from
in 30
Kitui.
seconds.
Then you send it to everybody. Then we'll say there is empowerment from the government of
In
Kenya.
30 seconds, in this country, no president has served one term. All presidents have served 2 terms. It will not change in 2027.
This one will be
Let
the
us
first one.
remain united. Let us remain focused. This country is bigger than all of us. Let us do our role. Let government do their role. Let counties do our role. And Kenyans should support the government of the day. Because in the words of a former president of US, if you pray for your president to succeed, the entire country succeeds. Thank you and good.
So you're saying 2 term?
2 terms.
One term.
Okay, I want to just wind up, but I'll be remiss if I don't show you this particular picture. And
We have removed the...
No, don't remove yet, so that you can actually, if my director may just pick it up so that we can see. You can see that particular picture? Yes, it's up there.
Joe de Sarkar.
Roar Jode, and then we have, this was...
Saitoti, Kalonzo.
Yes, and
Mudaura.
this was
That's
Vice
Mudaura.
President Ian Mudaura.
And Kalonzo.
Yeah.
Kalonzo should work the series called Survivor, movie called Survivor. He's a designated survivor.
Yes, and the Kimeme is there behind him.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. So this was actually, when you're talking about empowerment, you remember that Assistant Minister Ojode,
Yes.
during their tenure and under Kibaki's administration, actually they had banned Harambee.
Yeah.
Can you remember?
Yes, that's
And the country developed.
Because of the empowerment issue that you're talking about, and people, they were that banned. But this particular picture,
Unfortunately,
And Debarl, the country developed.
unfortunately they died with Orwa and Professor Saitoti on their way to an empowerment program in Diwa.
was it an empowerment
In
program?
people here.
No,
was it in Diwa? No.
Of a church.
It was here in Gong. Were they on their way to?
Yeah, they were on their way to
You're being
Diwa.
distracted from your thoughts, Debarl.
Yeah, yes. I can see.
We know
Check it.
Cherargei.
Check
So,
it.
okay. So here, President Kibaki is on a 4-day official visit. He was heading to Rwanda, where he was expected to hold various meetings on the crisis in Congo against a backdrop of a national demonstration on the arrest of Rose Kabuye in Germany. Just a bit of history
Yeah,
Okay,
of course.
today in history.
We'll remember also that, yes, Harambee was banned during that particular time.
History is-
I remember very well. Thank you very much.
Iliendelea sana.
I really appreciate you coming through.
No,
Always a treat. Though you mnasema niweke mattress hapa
But you
after.
will prepare supper.
I'll prepare supper. I'll be making sure I become the chef as well. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much for watching The Insights. Have a restful night.